I'm John GRAFFT, and I love Chicago real estate. Between showings, I stop in my favorite places, talk with local business owners, and bring their story to you. This is my Chicago.
It already existed. It was more in like California and stuff like that. But truck lettering and, putting logos on trucks, it's always been around. They've been hand painting since, the 1900s or whatever, signs on the trucks. So it's always been part of the sign business. We were doing vinyl lettering, but then we started, actually the guy that was managing Sun Signs, this place is a good friend of mine. He bought out from being a manager here into another company, and then they were doing wraps here, so he, basically I was outsourcing my wraps to him.
Okay.
But then I was like, hey, can I send my guys over there and show, let them help or whatever so we could learn how to do this? He's like, yeah, go ahead. So
a competitor taught you how to do it, in essence.
Technically, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and we always, if my customers try to come to him or his come to us, we always say, I know who did your stuff. We don't go against each other. And
that's good.
We always help each other out. It's better to have friends in business than enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. And the brokerage business is the same way, but no one would ever help a competitor, so to speak. Like if you're in the same company, if you're mentoring someone, sure.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna be like, this is how I get leads. This is how I do it.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of this business?
Which part? I mean, the sign business or vehicle wraps? Or?
So do you look at those as two completely different entities?
Not really, but they are.
Uh-huh.
It's a separate. They are separate kind of incomes that come in. So we do a lot of, real estate signage. You probably know, and we do a lot of like event signage, and then we do a lot of, just like street fests and stuff like that, banners and all that good stuff. But then we get just everything's custom, so it could be anything that comes in the door, birthday sign or which we don't really want to deal with that kind of stuff, but we do. We're going to wrap that garbage can lid. We did a couple hundred of those in the past. That's for the same clients. So now they're changing up the design or something, so we could do. Those are airplane parts that are going to. This, like I said, this thing was like this is for a marketing company. So we're working for them. This is not our client. So, but they don't. They just outsource this stuff to us and bring us the vehicles. But so it could be any kind of random thing. I don't know. So, but yeah, we do all kinds of stuff, condo signs, parking signs, everything needs a sign or whatever. So,
how do people find you?
Internet, usually the internet or word of mouth. We don't really do any advertising at all. Yeah. So.
And you've been in this site for how long?
8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
Where were you before this?
2014, Belmont and Ashland. We had 3 storefronts there. I started at Irving and Hamilton. You know where the Lachette's bar over there, German bar. I had a little storefront there. That's when I first started my business.
How'd you get into this business? Why did this attract you?
So I ran a sign supply warehouse for 10 years. And then before...
what does that mean, sign supply warehouse?
So we sold sign supplies to the sign industry. We didn't make signs.
Okay.
But all the sign people would
it's like
buy.
where you would buy your signs today?
You'd buy the supplies to produce the signs.
Yes.
So you get the ingredients, and a sign shop would put them together.
Okay.
So Rayco was like I think they were the first sign supply company in Chicago, selling paint and silkscreen supplies. But then it, morphed into, vinyl graphics, went to vinyl lettering, and then digital printing came up. So, but basically I worked there for 10 years, and there was, it's a small family-owned business, kind of hit the ceiling. There wasn't, there's really nowhere else to go in the company. So a guy in Glenview, a one-man sign shop, Monk Signs, he's a hand painter, kind of a sign shop. He worked for the motion picture industry. So he got the gig to do Road to Perdition, which was filmed in Geneva over here. So he got the job to paint all the signs. So it's like a 6-month gig for him. He needed someone to run his shop in Glenview while he was out on set doing the signs and stuff like that. So I left Rayco, I went to work for him, he trained me for 2 weeks. then basically I ran his shop for 6 months. So he would come in the morning, set things up, and I kind of, he'd tell me what to do, and I, did what I could do, and then he would come back in the evening, set everything up for the next day. So the sign business slows down in January, February, and his gig ended in the winter time. So when he came back, he didn't have enough work for both of us, so he let me go. So I tried to find a job at another sign shop that was kind of creative, like, because I knew all the sign people from being in the sign supply business. So no one would hire me because it was winter time. They're like, yeah, come back in the summer. So, but I needed to eat, right? So I just started my own shop. So I got rid of my apartment. I moved into the shop, illegally. I lived there for a year and a half, with no heat, no shower.
I did that at my first office. I did the same exact thing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I got an apartment, but there was always this room locked.
Okay.
I was like, that's my office or whatever. Like, that was the bedroom.
Okay.
But it was all one space.
Yeah, interesting,
Yeah. Where'd you shower?
At the gym.
The gym,
So
right.
I've been doing martial arts since I was 26, so
Okay.
I would train at my Kung Fu school, after work at about 5 to 7, and then from 7 to, 9:30 or something like that, I'd go to my other friend's gym. He had a big judo school. He would let me train there, and then I would just, clean up afterward, take a shower, go home. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
How did you find out about the original opportunity with the guy who got the Road to Perdition gig?
I think the salesman for Rayco told me, he's like, hey, Monk's looking for a guy. You want to? I'm like, yeah, I'll give that a shot. So,
How many competitors do you have here, like in Chicago?
Chicago, a couple hundred probably.
Couple hundred?
Or sure,
Wow.
yeah.
So it's a crowded space. I've been getting signs from you for, I don't know, 5 years or so, something like that, I think.
Okay.
And now it just seems like a go-to option. I would hate to call a bunch of people, price this out.
Yeah.
I know what I got, especially coming here. I've never been here before. It's so cool. It's a really cool
Okay,
shot.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, we do quality work. So I've got the same guys. Josh has been with me 17 years.
Wow.
Arthur's been with me 15 years.
Arthur looks 15. I'm kidding, but like.
Everyone says that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's 40.
Wow.
So, no,
Really?
he's not 40. Probably 28, 30. Yeah, then my other guy, he's been with us like 5 years, and then this is actually Chuck's first day back.
Yeah?
He was part-time with us last year, and then he came back, so yeah.
What do you like doing the most out of all the car wraps, the signs?
Car wraps are more kind of prestigious. They look better on Instagram. We don't post a lot of signage on Instagram. We do a lot of development signage, a lot of banners, stuff like that, but it's not that sexy. So if you got a Corvette in here or something, or you got a van for a plumber or something like that with some nice colorful branding, it looks better. So what do I like doing best? I just like to keep everything going. So I really don't have a favorite, but car wraps are not as it's not as big a profit margin as signage.
Okay.
So
I imagine it's labor intensive to do the wraps.
it's labor intensive. You got to do it right. That's the trick. That's kind of our niche because we've been doing it so long, the same guys. We do quality work, but anybody can technically buy a printer and make your banner. It's not it doesn't take.
I can't put up a sticker this big on a sign that says like one left
Yeah.
without a bubble in it. So I don't know how anyone can just jump into this.
Yeah, no, you got it. Everything takes practice, but and a lot of my competitors do think that it's just like, hey, buy a printer, we're gonna make money, and then they fail because they don't have good design work, they don't have good customer relations, they don't put things together right or whatever, or they don't if they do make a mistake, they don't make good on it. So I've lost plenty of money because we've made mistakes, but it's like I always try to make good or whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't done that recently too much. We don't make too many mistakes now, but you do have to own up to
These printers are huge.
Yeah.
Do you have like a huge financing package on these? Are these really expensive?
No, they're not that. It's like 30 grand.
Okay.
Something like that.
They look like they'd be more.
Yeah.
You mentioned the design side earlier. Do you design some of the artwork as well?
Yeah, like almost all of it. So.
Interesting, because I've only sent you files. I wouldn't even think to contact you to design something.
Yeah. So I do all the designing, but if a client has a PDF or whatever, we gladly just take your artwork and run with that. So.
How do you do the designing? Like you yourself do it?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's got to be time consuming.
It's time consuming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I got 70 hats I wear, I'm sure. So
I bet. I know that feeling.
In the summer, it's rocking and rolling. So we're.
How often are you here in the summer? You're here 7 days a week?
I'm here every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas, everything. So for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I'm not
Just
I'm not
check
here
in,
8
see how
hours.
things are going.
Yeah, you just come in and do a little bit, you know.
You said you grew up in the city?
Yeah, Logan
Whereabouts?
Square.
Logan Square?
Yeah, Wrightwood and Sawyer.
What was that like? For people that don't know what it's like, they see today, can't imagine. You said you're 51?
Yeah, I'm
Look pretty-
51, yeah.
Look pretty good for 51.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So you grew up there. What was it
Yeah.
like then?
It was different. It was a different neighborhood. I mean, you know, we were poor. We had a $20,000 old Victorian house my mom bought. Spooky as heck. Big old house, and she sold it for $30. Right now, I think last sale was $675.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's maybe it might be $1.2 million now.
My
It's
mom,
like $20,000.
$1.2 million?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds about right. If you're saying
32,
old Victorian?
3269 Wrightwood. Yeah.
3269. Okay.
Yeah.
My mom grew up on the 3300 block of Beach
Oh, okay.
in Humboldt Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what was the neighborhood like? What did it feel like?
I was a kid, so I was running around a lot. There's a lot of people on the street. Just it's not like today. It's like everybody seemed like everybody was kind of didn't have money. Everyone was kind of, just hanging out on the street or whatever. Just really not doing much with technology and stuff like we do now. Like all the kids now got doing that, and everybody's kind of. Everybody's clean and everyone's eating and stuff nowadays. As far as I can tell, I mean, people are hurting too, but it's seems like people got a lot easier, and I think they have it a lot worse too. It's like I wouldn't trade growing up, we used to run through the alleys and garbage pick and have album fights, you find albums in the alley and have fights, jump
break them on each
the
other?
roof.
Like,
Yeah, throwing them down the alley, throwing them at each other.
That could hurt.
Yeah, album fights, and we used to jump the roofs, like on Milwaukee Avenue, by Sawyer over there, where the McDonald's is over there.
Mm-hmm.
Used to do rooftop jumping and all kinds of crazy stuff. We stayed out of the gang stuff and none of that. Didn't get into that or anything like that, but it was definitely all around.
It's interesting to hear about that because I've heard people talk about it didn't matter where you were from, what ethnicity you were, there was a gang for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like if you're Hispanic, there's a gang. If you're Black, there's a gang. If you're white,
Yeah.
there's a gang. And everyone kind of bound to that's just how it worked out.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there was it was like, had rock and roll kids, all the white kids had long hair, and then, all the Spanish kids were breakdancing, and, it's kind of had their groups like that, so.
Was there a lot of violence? Or was it just poor?
There was violence, but it wasn't. No, it didn't seem too crazy. I mean,
Was it more like fists and fights?
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
than gunfighting
It was
than it is
it was
today?
all fist fights. Yeah.
That's what my uncles say. It's like there were fights all the time. There's violence, but it never went to a gun, never went to a knife, never went to anything like that.
No. Yeah.
You ever look at the signs and think about that, or like, have you ever seen something like, oh, that'd be fun to do, or that might be a good opportunity?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time, I guess. Yeah, we do see a lot of, especially, it's crazy the amount of $1 million properties that are this never really stopped going up around Chicago. It's like all through, COVID and all that stuff is just.
Oh, it just
I
got
guess
the gas. Yeah.
Yeah, we just kept making signs, so those developments kept going up, I think. So, yeah.
What's up with the gorilla?
So I came up with that. The gorilla, when we started getting into the wraps to kind of, to get something catchy to go along with the vehicle wraps, like a mascot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, so the first one was, that,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Kind of logo. I kind of got a tattoo when we first started, and then we redrew it. I had some artists redraw it. We ended up with that guy, and then there's a third version in my office, which is a little better, but then I figured out I wanted to do like a clean branding, so we ended up with this, which I'm really happy with.
It's clean, yeah.
Yeah, I took like the Wendy's logo and
This one looks like he's going to eat you. Also looks like Godzilla a little bit.
yeah, it's a little dark. When we got this building, we put him on the front of the building. We had his arm punching through the door,
That's cool.
and we had his legs going onto the brick. So it was, right right up the next block was that 𝗙𝗔𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗘𝗗 muffler. Remember that? The muffler guy holding the big statue.
No.
It's like a 30-foot statue in the
Really?
next building. Yeah, in the next block. But
Okay.
when I moved in, like I remember driving up and down Grand Avenue when I was a kid with my dad or whatever, and we go past that, it was kind of cool. But when I got the building 8 years ago, there was nothing left but his pants. So on top of the building, it was just like a big pair of pants.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess it fell down or something, and then they got a new one, and someone stole it, and then they just never
Gave up after
Yeah,
that.
they gave up. Yeah, so I thought a big giant gorilla would be. It's good for grabbing attention.
It's a good logo. It definitely is. It grabs the attention. You mentioned judo and kung fu.
Yeah.
So you've been doing martial arts for.
Man, I was training from 26 till 46, and then my hip kind of gave out. I got a full left hip replacement in 2019, so I kind of stopped after that. Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
My buddy was training with a guy, really good martial artist. We started training out of his apartment. It was just like street fighting stuff, but it was kung fu. He's trained in kung fu and stuff. And then he moved to Norway. When I moved, then I had to find another teacher. I found the Master Zhang, and I trained with him. Tai Chi. He was like a Tai Chi guy, but we did, Chinese kung fu. There's like all kinds of variations of that. So I trained about maybe 6-7 years with him. And I got into MMA. My buddy got me into training with 𝗤𝗢𝗣𝗐𝗪, helping people train, like private lessons train. He was like, hey, they need a dummy to get thrown around, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, it's good training. So then I started training with him and got into that. And then, at some point my hip started giving me problems, and I was like, let me take a break, and then I had to get surgery, and I started doing hot yoga for a couple of years. Now I'm just working out in the mornings, just doing a general workout. Huh?
Are you doing that at Bill's place, the hot yoga?
No, not at all. So I'm lazy. There's a place right across the street from my house, so I was like, let me join that. It's like,
Totally.
yeah, if it was a block away, I wouldn't go, but it was 200 feet is I could do it. So, yeah.
You like hot yoga?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Can you still do it with the hip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you continue to do it?
No, but so I kind of stopped doing that during COVID, because it was like they were leaving the doors open. It wasn't hot, basically. It was kind of crazy. So I left that. I started doing not CrossFit, the F45 stuff. So I'm doing that, 5:30 in the morning every day. So
How is it with the hip?
it's fine. No,
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's
I mean,
great.
After surgery, you're good. So do whatever you want. So.
Do you think that discipline goes into this part of your
Oh
life
yeah,
as well?
100%. Yeah.
So you're up at 5:30, you said?
Oh yeah.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. So, yeah, especially Tai Chi and stuff like that. Makes you calm and stuff like that. And people, you got to deal with customers and people, and even just traffic or driving. You try not to get upset. So, yeah. Oh, it definitely helped.
For someone that doesn't know what Tai Chi is, how would you describe that?
It's like, 3,000-year-old breathing exercise derived from yoga. It came from, there's Qigong, that's like 5,000-year-old breathing exercises. So basically it's just like works the small muscles and the memory, controls your breathing, doing these things. But the nice thing, my teacher would, when you see old people doing Tai Chi in the park, you see them doing this stuff like that, whatever.
That's what I think of when I think of it.
Right, but all those moves are like very violent moves if someone shows you what they actually mean. So it's like, it was part of the fight training too, but it seems like it's slow and easy, but it's useful for self-defense. So
The patience part seems enormous.
Yeah.
Like you said.
yeah,
Because you're moving slow, but you're doing these real motions.
Yeah, got to have patience, I guess. So yeah, it just kind of comes naturally after you do it for a couple of years. You don't think about being patient. It's just like you just end up being patient, I guess, or whatever. So calm, I would say.
It seemed like you had a natural evolution from one to the other. Any rhyme or reason to that?
It was kind of how I got into the business. I just had to do it. Like my original teacher moved, so found another teacher. He's a Tai Chi guy, and then I got into MMA and Kung Fu at the same time. We was doing both. I was doing a lot of working out, but then the Chinese Kung Fu Institute closed down. He moved to Indiana, so then I went more into doing jiu-jitsu and boxing and Muay Thai and American wrestling and stuff like that. So there's a pretty good variety of stuff you can do in MMA, and which is it's very good, effective fight training. So
Ever had to use it out here?
No.
Good.
No, I just try to use it when I open doors or something like that. You kind of push it or whatever. You try to practice doing the little things, in your everyday life. But nah, you train to avoid fights. So yeah, no, I don't want to. Not looking for a fight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll walk away quick. But
having a business like this, you said you do no advertising. How do you think your name gets out there and the word spreads?
I think it's word of mouth and then the internet. So we have a good website, pretty clean. It shows what we do. It's easy to use, and I think people find us. They look at the reviews and then they call us, and then from that point it's kind of how you talk to people and how they, how you relate to them. You get the business, I guess. Or try to treat everybody that comes in the same, even the smallest. I've had, literally, $5-6 little sticker jobs turn into, $1,000 jobs from, word of mouth, or they'll come back, hey, now we want to do something big. So you can't push anybody really away from the door, business-wise. So
I didn't think about stickers. So I think of it as vehicle wraps, real estate signs. What all do you do?
Signs, banners, vehicle wraps, we print stickers. We're not really a label company, but if you need a couple hundred for a prototype or something, it makes sense to come to us. But if you're going to do a couple thousand stickers, that's not really us. You should go to a label company. For the same price, you're going to get 2,000. Well, we could do 200. So, yeah. It's all custom. So foam board signs, signs on an easel if you're going to have an event, or we do bar front decal graphics if you're having a party and you want to put, like some kind of a theme or whatever. You want to wrap the walls, we could do that. We do a lot of interior graphics for, corporate, like wall wraps, or, we do a lot of leasing signs, stuff like that. Advertising, or if you just want, like my bathroom, if you just want a custom bathroom, we could wrap the walls.
We could do that too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
In a way, are you making wallpaper then?
Technically,
in essence,
yeah.
right? Huh, okay.
Yeah.
How's inflation affected your business? Supply chain, all of it.
Inflation, yeah, it's hit us for sure. There's been supply shortages, especially with there's a chemical they use in the vehicle wraps that I guess is in short supply. So it's for a while we couldn't even get print media. I had to buy in bulk, which is kind of hard. I don't want to buy $10,000 worth of vinyl, and then have to just spend all that money at once, where I could have just spread that out over a few weeks or whatever. So prices have gone up a lot on different stuff, but how's it affected us? It affects us, but we're in a high profit business, so we're able to absorb it without passing too much of the cost on to the client. So trying to hold out, where I can. So.
I imagine a big part of the expense in this goes to labor, or at least in the time of it.
Yeah, very labor intensive. Yeah.
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 When you do a car, how many man hours go into that?
Typical car wrap is 2 guys for 2 days.
Okay.
So 16 hours for two guys. A partial wrap like this could be a day.
That looks really clean, by the way. I like how it goes on to the side. So did you design that?
I did way back. So we've done about probably 30 vehicles for this customer. They usually have NV200s. They started out with Dodge Grand Caravans, but we've kept the design consistent. So they buy white cars, and then we do a partial wrap, so they're not spending. That's really the way to do it. Do a partial wrap. It looks like a full wrap. You get the effect. You get the effect without spending all the money.
Because even the Google reviews on the side, that looks really natural. It looks like the car decal.
Yeah. It's just a print and cut graphic stuck on the quarter panel. Yeah.
And so would this be 32 hours?
No, not at all. That's like a day. We can knock that out in a day. But you gotta. So actually putting it on. It takes a day, but if that car comes in dirty, we've got to clean everything. Even if it comes in perfectly clean, my guys go over it with alcohol, over every edge, and they got to, it's really meticulous work.
When you guys did the signs for me, just on the Southport project recently, the inside I know was filthy because it's a construction project.
Okay.
And I remember walking in there and I was like, because I heard you guys were gonna have to do it from the inside because of the cold weather.
Yeah.
One thing, which I think that looks way better.
Yeah.
Because it looks
like glass.
It looks 3D almost.
Yeah.
Like it looks like there's something behind the glass. Whenever you guys do a sign for me, let's do it that way. moving forward.
Yeah.
That looked so much better than usual. But like, how much of that was cleaning? Do you know? Were you on site at all?
I was not. I sent my guys, but yeah, you got to make sure that you got to clean the windows.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of cleaning involved.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the process. Yeah, obviously you can't put it on over the dirt. On that kind of application, you're going to see everything, and it's going to fail. So
Yeah, it looks so good, so
Very good.
Do you know how long that took?
a day.
A day?
Yeah.
Okay, solid day. Was that 1 or 2 people?
I'm sure that was 2 guys. Yeah.
Okay.
2 guys. Yeah.
Do you ever get someone's sign that you're supposed to install, and you're like, "Are you sure?" Or like, second guess or advise in any way?
Yeah, I do definitely. Sometimes people come in with, they're starting a new business and they're investing all this money.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, they're putting all this money, and then they're like, yeah, I want to wrap our van, and that's $4,300. That's not nothing. So they're like, my daughter drew this, and this is what I want. It's like, don't do that. It's like, don't do that. It's like it's like you don't want to say, hey, it's terrible, but it's like from a branding perspective, you gotta. It's in my interest to make sure that they get a quality product so they can succeed.
To keep coming back.
And they keep coming back.
Like you said, 30 cars or whatever here.
Yeah,
That's,
it's 30, right.
impressive.
Right. If we just, when he came to me, if we just did a crummy design, how much of that would affect his business?
Yeah.
Probably somewhat, it probably would, so.
I feel like that'd be a hard part of it because on design you could spend forever, right? You can just keep going over and revisions and a different idea.
Sometimes, so it's about 3, I'm lucky, I guess, when I deal with customers, it's usually like maybe 3% are like, it's a headache. It's like, keep going over, back and forth. But 97% of the time, it's like, yeah, I like that. Let's tweak it a little bit, and then it's boom, we're out the door. You've seen the New City moving trucks.
Yeah.
So Brian came to us with 2 trucks. He's like, yeah, I'm starting this business, moving company. I got 2 trucks. He's like, I'm gonna have 30 by the end of the year. He's like, here's my logo, design something. So I did. He liked the first design I did, and I was like, are you sure? I could design something else. It was like, no, I love it. It's like, okay. So we went with it. To date, I think we've done 105 trucks for him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like the biggest, I think he's the biggest moving company in Chicago, or at least my biggest moving customer, company customer. So yeah, he's doing good, and he's got the same design. He hasn't changed it. We designed it. My instinct was to change it. I just threw something at him. It was nice.
It's clean and straightforward.
It is clean, straightforward, and he claims he's got the stats somewhere, which I have not put on my website, but I'm trying to get to that. But he gets a majority of his business because he tracks all that stuff from the moving trucks. They all say, like, I think 80%. They're like, I saw your moving truck. Yeah. So he knows the value of the vehicle branding. So.
That's what's beautiful about a business like that. You just need to be moving. Like when you're working, you're advertising.
Yeah. If there's if you want to wrap your, you could do this. You could buy a $7,000 billboard, and then maybe people are going to look at it. Maybe they're not. They're paying attention to the road, whatever. That's gone in a month. Or you could wrap your van for $2,000, and if there's a Cubs game, just have your kid drive around the Cubs game all day. You're going to get all that advertising. That'll cost you $1 million if you put a billboard down there. So it's, or park it in the lot at Jewel, talk to the manager, buy a box truck, and just park that truck there, and there's your advertising. So it's like smart. So.
Did you ever hear what Alice Cooper did in London for one of his shows?
No.
So Alice Cooper, they hadn't sold out this show. The ticket sales weren't looking good at all.
Okay.
So they put up a huge sign all over a truck, wrapped the whole truck for the advertisement, and then went to like the center of downtown, took out the keys, and just didn't move it.
Is that right?
caused huge commotion.
Okay.
All the media was
Free
there.
press,
Free
right?
press from it, yeah.
Right.
Sold out the tickets that day.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's the
That's a
same
good
concept, right? And I've always thought about that for real estate, but it's like, if I'm a realtor, is that what you want to see in a realtor, right? Like, I think it looks good for a moving company.
Yeah, for Alice Cooper, let's cause some problems downtown, but yeah.
Do you have a lot of agents that wrap their cars? Do you ever see that?
I've done a few.
With advertisements?
We've done a few.
Uh-huh.
We've done a few.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, is that what you want to see? I feel like it would degrade the brand.
It kind of does.
Right.
I don't like that. Like, you know, we've done a couple, and it's like, yeah, I want my face, you know, this big on my car, and it's like, what do you?
Face thing's always hilarious
Yeah,
to me.
it's like
Realtors and their face, it's on everything.
Yeah.
I refused to put my name or my face on things for like 10 years.
Okay.
And then I had to, and business did pick up, which is the funniest thing. But I still don't put it on signs or anything like that. I think it's obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, on the back of a van,
brochure or
you know,
whatever, yeah.
on a van or something, driving down the street, it looks weird.
Well, someone's going to write on it.
Right.
Whenever you see a face,
they're going to draw something on there.
There's
right.
always something on there.
Yeah. Now, we've done some. We wrapped a Tesla for Melanie Giglio.
Uh-huh.
We wrapped her Tesla twice, but she puts a little logo on the back window so it's nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's good promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Any really cool projects or things that are notable?
We've done a lot of cool stuff. We wrapped the beer silo at Cobra Lounge on Ashland Avenue.
Where's that?
Ashland and Lake.
Lake?
Cobra Lounge.
Yeah.
You should check it out. If you drive by, there's a big beer silo on the roof.
Yeah.
We wrapped that thing. That was a fun project before they put it up, but it was still, we had to get a lift to do that. What other fun stuff? You know, I'm just so busy kind of processing all the orders and making everything happen. You know, feeding these guys work, getting it all printed, setting it up, invoicing. I don't stop to kind of smell the roses, but you could see a lot of our work on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That's where when stuff's going on, I take a picture, I post it, and then let it go. So I've got like 6,000 pictures on there or something. I'm sure if I dig through there, I'd see a lot of the fun stuff. But
is that Insight Sign Co?
Yeah, Insight Sign Co. Yeah.
Do you have a separate one for the wrapping?
No, just
under
Insight
one?
Sign Co. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's too many websites and too much social media.
Yeah.
Too many things to manage.
Yeah, when it first came out, when I first got on it, so if you go all the way back in Instagram, you're probably going to see a lot of like pictures of my cat, maybe some food. You know,
Yeah.
This is when it was kind of new, so I was like, I didn't know. But
what do we do with this?
Yeah, so now it's all business. But yeah,
What do you do for free time now?
nothing. I just work. I relax. No, free time. I don't.
What's that?
I don't do anything. Yeah, no.
Could you see opening up another location, or how do you expand this business?
Yes, in the future, yeah.
Where would you do it?
Well, I don't know. In Chicago or out of Chicago,
You think
possibly,
suburbs?
but we could.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to find good help.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So
No one's going to care as much as you.
Yeah, and my guys. My guys are like, you know, very good technicians for what they do, and we've had a lot of guys come in that are like, I want a job and I can wrap cars, and okay. We try them out and then they end up burning material or they're doing stuff wrong. It's like they think they know what they're doing, but they actually don't know what they're doing. And so it's like...
And that costs you. If someone messes up the wrap, then you got to reprint the
Well,
wrap.
we can't have that. No,
Yeah.
everything's quality control out of here. My guys, to speed things up, I used to, like, can you guys, cheat on this, somehow do it faster? And they're like, they can't do it because there's a certain level of quality that they have to do it right, and they're not gonna do anything. So I can't even get them to do stuff wrong. So
That's good.
Yeah. So it is what it is, but it's like quality takes time. What are you gonna do? So
I hear a torch. Right, there we go.
yeah, they're using torches.
What are they doing?
You
Can you show us?
Pre and post heat material. Yeah, come check it out. So this is Josh. Josh. They want to see what you're doing here with that torch.
What's up, Josh? How you doing? Hey. So you can do that right over this existing wrap.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just going to show you like the memory of the material, so he can crinkle it up. And
Yeah, this is a strap I cut off here or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So plastic, like I say, heat will basically simulate what time is going to do. starts to relax back to its original sort of shape a little bit. This one's pretty far gone because I'm pulling it out of the trash. But let's say we just dramatically, stupidly overstretched this thing. Isn't that cool? Now it's like that. Right? It always wants to go back to the original shape. That's what we're sort of talking about. Once finish the application, if you were to post-heat it, then it would maintain the shape. If that, yeah, this is not an ideal example of stuff out of the garbage can, but hopefully the principles, like I said, you know.
I can't believe you can heat it up so much.
Yeah.
How long until it would burn the product? And what is this, vinyl?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all vinyl?
How long? I don't know. It's a sort of a muscle memory feel thing, I guess, that you would just know if you know that you do this all day. Don't. What's that require? Also, for something less, I don't know, this is what it is. Like in a car, you'd probably use a nice heat gun and a little more delicate control. I'm not too worried about hurting this. If this is a Tesla, I'm probably not going to use an open flame on it, just so I don't melt any plastic pieces. But this is pretty, I feel pretty confident.
It's cool. How long will it take to wrap this whole thing?
What you got, Josh?
Depends how many times I have to stop and answer the door. No, realistically, with 2 people, this will take us probably a couple days.
And what's this used for?
This is for alcohol marketing, and they do they rent this out, so they'll buy an Airstream, create a campaign for a client. Could be Amazon, could be anything like that, and they'll wrap it. They'll put a couple people in there, and they'll go out and pass out samples or whatever. When the campaign's over, they get the Airstream back, unwrap it, sell it to another customer. Keep doing campaigns like that. So it's.
Do they keep the Airstream just for that?
I think this one is actually the client owns it.
Okay.
This is for a used airplane parts company.
Okay.
So they go worldwide doing like trade shows and stuff like that.
Okay. So they're going to take this all over with them.
Yeah, they're going to take it around the world. But on the inside, they build it out and they do all kinds of cool stuff in there, depending on the client. So make it it's like a trade show booth basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But this is like a brute, like what Josh was saying with a Tesla and stuff. Like this thing is, you see all the wells, all the little gaps and all the patches. It's like, this is not like wrapping a Tesla. You got to be really careful. Everything's got to be perfect. And the actual surface is not perfect. So it's like you're just working with what you got. So
no matter what you do, it's going to look better than the Airstream by itself.
It'll look like $1 million when we're done wrapping it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool. Can you show us around the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these are the wrap stations. This is where the guys keep all their tools. This is one of the work tables. This is the CNC router. So we do, cut lettering and foam board and stuff like that. Or if you're going to do like some kind of event and you want like a life-size standee out of a gator board material, we would cut out the shape, put the print on that, stuff like that. So this is a pretty useful tool.
What's that right there? The CNC routine?
Oh, this is just, I threw this on the table so you guys would understand what so it routes out the material.
Okay, so that's what that's doing here. Cool. Okay, what else you got?
Yeah, so we got that storage up there.
So I see all this equipment here, or all this material. What is this?
This is that's all like sign material. So
what is this?
That's aluminum composite.
Okay.
So that's aluminum on 2 sides with a plastic core. That's all like stainless steel looking. I bought that stock. It was at a good price, so we can make signs out of it and stuff like that, high-end looking signs. Mm-hmm. And that's gator board and foam board. We do a lot of that for like events, different weddings and stuff. They always order these.
When you say gator board, what does that mean?
Gator board, it's like foam board, but it's very strong.
Okay. So that's when there's that foam core. It has like a plastic on each side of it. Okay.
And that's kind of flimsy and it warps and stuff. But gator board is more heavy duty.
Okay.
It's very stiff. You can knock on it.
Okay.
It's pretty nice. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff for like step and repeats for backgrounds.
What's a step and repeat?
Step and repeat, like when you see red carpet events where they got 2 guys talking, and then they got the background with all the logos on it.
Got it.
Stuff like that, so that they
You call that a step and repeat?
It's a step and repeat.
I always want
the logos are stepping and repeating.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
What's it cost to do one of those? Because Is that usually a sign, or is that usually
It's about $700.
$700?
Yeah.
Okay.
For an 8x8. Yeah.
And okay, so it's a sign. I always think of it as like a tapestry or something like that.
We do that too.
Okay.
So you could do it as a banner, or you could do it as a rigid sign. So the rigid sign looks nicer if you got the setup, if you got the clamps and the kind of brackets. Otherwise, you do the banner and they just kind of hang it, drape it. But that's got wrinkles, you know, kind of.
Doesn't look as finished.
It depends on your use.
Yeah.
You know, if you're traveling across country, a fabric banner or something's, you know, perfect. So, but if you're doing a nice event, you want stability, gator board would be the way to go. So,
Okay.
yeah. And you want to see the printers in the back? We got another room back here. Well, we got another machine back here. We got another one of those in the front. Back here is where we laminate everything, so we have to put a protective clear coat on, you know, finish on top of everything, so, you know, you can't wipe off the ink or something like that. Plus, it protects it from the UV, you know, the sun. This is a UV printer where we do like little tags and stuff like that. We can print on a brick or anything up to 4 inches thick that'll fit in the machine. We can direct print on. Yeah.
What do you do when someone tags a sign? Like, someone call you and they're like, "Hey, this happened to my sign."
You can usually get it off like with like maybe gasoline or something like that if the customer wants to, or graffiti remover. But you got to test it out. We do have graffiti laminates specialty that we can put on there for extra cost. That nothing will, you know, it'll really come off of there.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
so that's an option. Someone
an
has
option
like
for
a
a
high
4x8.
traffic area, something that could get tagged
Yeah.
up easier. Put that on as a proactive measure.
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
it'll come right off. Yeah, pretty nice.
So does it not even stay on?
It's on there, but it's so slick that it'll you could just literally wipe it off with your hands.
Okay.
And what else we got? If you want to come this way, there's Arthur's working on this side. Hey, James. James, Oscar, you got the? Oh, he's got you.
Okay.
These are more of the airplane parts that are going to go on that Airstream. That's the old wrap that was on there. This is another printer room, our main printer room. So we got 2 large format printers in here. This is identical to the one in the back. This is a latex printer. This is a print and cut machine, so we could print something here or there, and then we could cut out the shapes, you know, up to 60 inches wide.
Okay.
Which is pretty useful. Man, that's about almost the whole shop.
Well, that's a tour.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Chris. This is a lot of fun.
John, yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you for today.